Hey guys, Nicole here with Obscure Reptiles and Caging, and today we're going to be talking about snake hooks. So let's get started. Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking about snake hooks and snake hook training as it's known. So there are a ton of different sizes and style snake hooks that you can purchase. I'll try to find some pictures of some. These are ones you really do not want. They're very flimsy, very thin. They're also very inexpensive, but they just really aren't worth it. Even if you have something super tiny, I would just invest and get a good snake hook. This is the type I like. I am going to look up the brand. I'll try to post it right here, whatever it is called. I have this shorty, and then I have a big one which wasn't supposed to be this large. It was supposed to be the middle size, but this larger one arrived, so that's what I have. The reason I like these specifically is they are very solid, solid metal. They have a rubber handle, but the fact that it's one solid piece is awesome. The reason why is because you want to clean and sanitize this, especially in between different animals. You can use anything from F10 to even hand sanitizer. That way you want to make sure you are keeping your animals as clean, and especially if you're going to be using this for, like, if you have a snake in quarantine, you only have one hook, you want to use it for your regular animals. All you have to do is you get a little hand sanitizer, put it right whatever part the snake actually touches, and it's one solid piece. So you can easily just sanitize, keep this clean, and it's awesome to have. You can wash it, stuff like that. It's never rusted. I've had this one for probably 10 years now. You can get them at reptile shows. You can go online and purchase them. I like getting them at shows because then you can actually see them in person. But the worst thing I don't really like about this is this one has almost like a point at the end, which you don't really need to grab them. I've never poked anyone before, but you just gotta be really careful when using that. Now, the reason why you want to have one of these, if you have, let's say, we'll stick with ball pythons for this video, you want to make sure you don't get bit, and you want to make sure the animal is not being hurt. So the reason I like to use it, and I think most reptile people should, is if you, quote, hook train your snake, you have a very large species of snake, it prevents you from getting hurt. If you have a smaller species, you have ball pythons, and they can be snippy, or if you're someone who's worried about getting bit, or you just want to make sure that that animal is being moved safely, these are awesome. I specifically like to do these because, one, I don't really like getting bit, and two, I think it keeps everyone as clean and as sanitary as possible. So you want to make sure if any of your animals ever have any kind of illnesses, any diseases, anything like that, I'd rather pick everyone up, like if I'm cleaning the whole collection. I know everyone's been quarantined, I know everyone's healthy, I know everyone's mite-free, but for my peace of mind, because I like to overdo everything, I like to use this because I could take one animal out, clean everything, wash my hands, and then I sanitize this. Instead of my hands being super dirty or having to change gloves all the time, I know for a fact that this is easier to clean than me or anything. If I grab the snake, it touched my shirt, have to switch that. I just like to keep everything as separate and as sanitized as possible when handling the animals. As for a safety aspect, I don't have anything like a Burmese python, anything that gets very large, no anacondas, none of that is legal here in New York. I do have the eyeless boa. I'll try to get some good footage of her. She upgraded to her bigger enclosure and she's loving it. But this is great if you want to be able to reach into an enclosure and feel safer about it when it's a very large animal. Generally, what you want to do is, I'll explain it and then I'll actually show you. But what you're going to want to do is, when you open the enclosure, whether it's a tub, and I'll show you both in a rack and an actual enclosure, a lot of snakes will automatically be in strike pose. They think that you have a rat, you're going to feed them, they're hungry. Best thing to do is with this rounded soft end, you just lightly tap the snake. You don't hit its face, stay away from its vents, nowhere near its head, but you're going to incredibly lightly tap the snake. And half the time they whip around, and as soon as they realize it's not like me, it's not food, they calm down right away. I'm able to scoop them out, and then if I'm just there to hold that animal, I will scoop it out of the enclosure, hold it, and we're all good to go. Or if I'm going to clean, I will take them directly out and actually hold them to the side while my wife's helping me clean. So again, I'll show you this, but this is also really good to have, for example, if you are newer to reptiles. A lot of people are really afraid to get bit. It doesn't really hurt that bad. Well, ball pythons doesn't hurt that bad. So quick, you don't even know it happens, and it's really not that painful. But having reptiles, you are going to get bit, and that is all right. Just like having a dog, sometimes they'll bite you when they're playing, or a cat will scratch you. It's the exact same thing. They're not doing it out of aggression most of the time, but you are going to get bit whether you use this or you don't. This is just a good way to make sure you're safe, make sure the animal's safe. And I've seen people get super angry reaching their hand in and the snake's biting at them, and they're super mad at the snake, and they just go and grab it, you know, roughly, because now they're mad the snake's striking at them. With this, it prevents that also. But this is a good way if you're going to have larger species, you're nervous, you're new, and I just think it's a better practice to have, especially if you have a larger collection. I'm going to do my best to try to be able to film while I'm doing this so you guys can see everything, but I'm going to turn it around so you can see what's going on. But we're just going to open one of our snakes up. So this is also awesome if you have a back that hurts. So you don't have to be bending, opening bins all the time. These Sterlite bins have a little bit of a lip. Open this up. She's not coming out or caring at all. This is Beast. It's nice because then you can just kind of grab the corner, open it up. Had a beautiful little shed in there. She's actually going through glow. She's going to be having eggs hopefully here soon. But normally I'll just do a light little tap like this. Now she knows it's not food. She knows it's me. And it's very easy to just scoop her up. Put her wherever you're going to put her. Make sure you stay towards the middle of their body like this. You don't have to go and grab right at their neck. You don't have to go and grab the base of their tail. But you can go right underneath their body. Scoop them right up. And set them right down. And it's that easy. That way they're not touching everything. It doesn't hurt the animal whatsoever, but just giving them a nice light tap like that is all you have to do to be able to get their attention. Let me put her hide back in here. This also works great for very aggressive snakes. So right here, her name is Snips. She's probably going to be living up to her name, but we'll open her up. She was earlier when I went in here to check on her, but again, you can just lightly flip her open. She also just shed. Just get that out of it. She also just shed, but by doing this, it shows her there's no food, nothing's happening, and it makes it a lot easier just be able to scoop up, got the whole shed and everything, and put her wherever you need to put her. Doesn't hurt her, doesn't stress her out, and then that way also it's a lot more clean, a lot more sanitary. This is that new cage we have set up for the eyeless boa. Oh, there she is. There she is. So I'm not going to mess with her too much just because she's only been in here for about a week. But I'll show you on this empty side of the enclosure. So when she gets very large, boas can get like 10, 12 feet, a huge female. They're normally not going to get that large, but they can. So if you have a very large snake in an enclosure, you can also turn this around and use this side. And you just, again, you would just give them a nice light little tap. They know you're there. They know that you are not food. You give them a nice little tap. Normally you can give them a rub too. Just let them know you are not food, and they generally calm down. No matter how aggressive, how food hungry they are, they realize, oh, that's not food, that's not what's here. And they calm down very quickly. I'll give it one more shot. Checking to see if either of my doom rolls were out. That way maybe we could show you a little bit better. Again, these guys have not been in here long, so I'm not going to mess with them too much. But a great example, there he is. Just a little head sticking out. A great example for these guys is, as you can see, he's completely dug underneath the substrate. That's just his head right there. It's very hard to see. They love to dig and hide underneath substrate. So this actually has about, like towards the back, has almost 2 inches of substrate. So if I just reach my hand in there, they could be hiding anywhere and they could think you're food. Especially, again, these are doom rolls boa, but they can get on the larger side. You get bit by something on the larger side, it's going to hurt. and it can be completely prevented by grabbing them with the hook instead. Do you need one of these? Absolutely not. You do not need a hook. You can just safely reach in 9 times out of 10. It's going to be perfectly fine, but a lot of people use hooks. I think they are a great tool, even if you're breeding and you're trying to get a female away from her eggs. For example, ball pythons, I have a whole video of me doing that. They can strike, they can get mad, they can get angry. Again, a bite doesn't hurt that much, but if you're trying to avoid getting bit as much as possible, these are very inexpensive. I think maybe I paid $35 for that larger one and probably $15, $20 for this smaller one. And again, it is solid metal. It's one continuous piece, and I've had this for about 10 years, and the worst thing that has happened is a little bit of paint has scratched off in about 10 years. And I clean and sanitize this multiple times throughout the week, and it's done great. It's never rusted. I never use these on feeding day other than to just slide the bin open, but I do not touch the animal with this on feeding day, because that way they would associate this with food, which is not what we want. We want them to associate this with a hand, this with no food, this with no biting. I will use this to take them out and then hold them also, even if I just want to hold them. I generally will not reach in, just grab them. But that's it for this video. If you guys have any questions, you can put them in the comments below. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We do videos every Wednesday, and we'll see you next Wednesday.